Boom, boom. Uh-oh, Joe Shelby got a podcast.
What's up, guys? So, I want to talk about something that's really been bothering me. And to be honest with you, it's been bothering me for quite some time. You might even say it irks me every single day. I'm not really sure where to start, so I guess I'll say this. Isn't it crazy how some people get credit for everything and then others get no appreciation at all? That pisses me off. For real. And in case you don't know what I'm talking about, or who I'm talking about rather, let me cut to the chase. I'm talking about Sir Isaac Newton. That's right, Sir. Fuck that guy. He discovered gravity? Really? He's taking all the credit for that? For simply noticing how things fall? Pfft, get out of here. That was just a guy with too much time on his hands. A guy just like me. I would have figured that out myself. I drop shit all the time. All the time. Every mass attracts every other mass with a force proportional to their masses. Shut the hell up and kiss my ass. What does that even mean? Mass, 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 mass. And then he created a mathematical equation just to sound even smarter. F equals G, mass 1 and mass 2 divided by the separation of the objects. AKA the distance they're falling. The gravitational force. The force. The force. The force. Okay, Darth Vader, am I supposed to be impressed by that? And if it's windy, that changes everything. No duh. Or is it duh? Is it duh or no duh? How come no one has figured that out yet? How come we don't know if we're supposed to say duh or no duh, but we have an equation for apples falling off trees? How about just pick it up and eat it and shut the hell up? They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Okay, well then how many cavities did he have? Because it sounds like he was too busy bumping his gums to eat one. For real, this guy is a genius? Pfft, you gotta be kidding me. Seriously. I would have figured that out. Easily. Seriously. Whoopsie. Sometimes I think we're all given jobs so we don't have time to sit around and wonder. You ever think that? Anyway, this guy, Sir Isaac Newton, I'm going to call him Fig Newton, by the way, also invented calculus. Why is that so impressive? Calculus is stupid. Calculus is just math gibberish. That's right. I said it. Calculus is baby talk for numbers. He probably didn't know how to talk or formulate a sentence, so he just said F and G and R and M, blah, 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 blah. Then some other guy came along and said E equals MC squared. Well, guess what? No one knows what the hell that means. Energy is equivalent to mass multiplied by the speed of light? What does that even mean? The bigger and stronger something is, the more powerful it is? Well, yeah, no shit, Einstein. Pfft, get a haircut. Who do you think you are, Don King? Pfft, he needs a haircut too. Sorry, I'm really pissed off right now. I spent years of my life playing this numbers or letters game. Years of my life I'll never get back. I had to go to tutoring because of it. I got grounded because of it. All because I will never agree that numbers are letters and letters are numbers. Sure, Roman numerals, I can get behind that. But that's where I draw the line. That's back when people didn't know any better. They all wore Jesus sandals for Christ's sake. And these guys got prizes for this stuff too. Awards. They were revered and stuff. Einstein and Fig Newton, smartest men to ever walk this earth. Okay, well, what about the fairy godmother from Cinderella who once said, Salagaboola, Michikaboola, bippity boppity boo. How about that? Is that calculus? Yeah. As a matter of fact, it is. It's the equation for turning a pumpkin into a chariot and mice into horses. How come we didn't study that in high school? How come witchcraft was off the table? But calculus, even though we already had calculators, TI-83 by the way, and computers, I had to study this crap? Horse shit. Now we all have phones, delivering every bit of information we could ever dream. Why do we even have schools anymore when we all have phones? As far as I'm concerned, school should be extinct. Why spend $40,000 a year on an education when all you got to do is pay $50 a month to T-Mobile and just like that? You're smarter than the fairy godmother, Einstein, and Fig Newton combined. Last thing I want to say is, whoever invented Fig Newtons is an absolute monster. A cookie with fig filling? Really? I'm sorry. Try again. That's what they told me in high school, and that's what I'm saying to Fig Newtons. You can do better. Or maybe baking just isn't for you. Have you considered ceramics? Maybe try taking a ceramics course. Maybe dedicate your life to the arts and you'll find success there. And guys, when I say success, of course I'm not talking about monetary success. I'm talking about the kind of success and accomplishment you receive when folding your laundry. Thanks a lot, Einstein, and Fig Newton, and the rest of you geniuses out there. It could have been me. I could have been the guy who noticed how stuff fell down. Instead, I'm nothing. I'm no one. I'm just another guy with a podcast that no one listens to. Thanks again. Thanks for nothing.
Uh-oh.
So now, if I may, I'd like to quickly address my fascination with the trans community. I remember being in high school, probably like 10th grade if I remember correctly. I remember reading this passage in English class. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. That struck me like a switch on Michael Jackson's ass. Then there was this other one. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. Whew! That one smacked me like Will Smith did Chris Rock. And there was another one too. Think for yourself, or others will think for you without thinking of you. Man, that hit me like Mike Tyson. Like Mike Tyson hit everybody. Damn near bit my ear off too. And there was more of them. Tons of them. Tons of useful wisdom and enlightenment. It was some of the best shit I ever read, ever heard, ever came across. It was biblical to me. To this day, it's still unmatched. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Henry David Thoreau, man, and they all had sweet beards too. At that moment, I knew it. I'm going to be trans one day, just like them. In a lot of ways, I think I've sort of accomplished that. See, transcendentalists champion the idea that individuals should trust their own conscience and intuition rather than relying on societal norms and or external authorities. They viewed nature not just as a physical environment, but as a sacred manifestation of the divine, a source of spiritual insight and a way to connect with the universe's inherent spiritual essence. They opposed materialism, instead focusing on spiritual and intellectual pursuits to find the true meaning and beauty of life. The way I understood it is that they broke free from society and just laid under trees all day and thought about stuff. And that sounded pretty cool to me. Yeah, I thought, that's what I want to do when I grow up. I'm going to be trans. I love trees, man. I'm basically a dendrophiliac. I mean, I'm not aroused by them, like I don't fuck them and stuff, but I do find them truly fascinating. 2 years ago, I was on a walk with my dog in the forest. It was cold and everything was quiet and dead. I heard a crack, a loud crack. It sounded like Mark McGwire hit a booming home run and shattered his bat. I stopped like, skirt! I thought a damn tree was falling down. I looked around and noticed this one tree just sort of swaying amongst the others. All the other ones were dead still. But this one was just sort of wobbling, dancing almost. I moved back a good distance and watched, probably for like 30 minutes or so, expecting it to fall at any moment. It kept reverberating as I watched, just I thought it was saying to me, "Heads up, motherfucker, I'm coming down." Like I said, it was cold and starting to grow dark. I really wanted to see it fall, mostly because it's not often you see a tree just buckle over. I mean, I even had my phone out ready to capture it, but for some reason it just wasn't happening. This son of a bitch wasn't coming down. So I said to myself, I'm going to keep walking and I'll revisit this tree on my way back. So I did just that. I walked backwards for a bit with my phone out, then I kept kind of turning around so I didn't miss anything. After another mile or two, I was ready to turn back and check on my buddy Philip. That's what I named the tree. When I arrived at Philip, he was still standing. He even made a couple more cracks, loud ones too, Barry Bonds style. And he still wasn't budging. It was almost like he was laughing he was cracking so much. It was then I realized Philip wasn't saying, "Watch out, I'm coming down." He was actually saying, "Watch this, ain't nothing gonna bring me down." So I said to him, "Hey Philip, I gotta go home, but I'll be back tomorrow to check on you, buddy." And he said, The next day, as I was approaching Philip's home, I was expecting him to be laying shattered across the forest floor. Much to my chagrin, Philip was right where I left him, still cracking jokes too. After hanging out with him for a bit, me and my dog continued on. After a mile or two, we again turned back and gave him another visit. He was happy to see us too, and he had plenty more jokes as well. To this day, Philip is still standing tall amongst the other trees, the stronger trees, the better trees, the ones with bigger trunks and abundant leaves. He's still there, cracking jokes and stirring controversy amongst the maples and spruces and all the naysayers in passing. Philip is my favorite tree on this planet, my favorite friend in the forest, and I won't be surprised if he outlives me. Philip is a goddamn king, and I tell him that every time I see him. If you're ever lucky enough to meet him, I suggest you do the same. Play on, Philip. Play on, playa.
Uh-oh.
So, this is kind of outlandish, actually. It's September, right? Well, Costco was already selling Christmas stuff. Interesting, I say. Interesting. Anyway, is it just me, or does Santa look an awful lot like Satan? Like phonetically, Satan and Santa, but also categorically. They both wear red. One has two pointy horns, the other has one pointy hat. One lives north, and the other lives south. One lives in fire, and the other lives in snow. One has elves, and the other has tortured souls. One shows up on Jesus' birthday, and the other shows up every other day of the year. I'm not sure, guys, but there is definitely something up with that. It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, where there's a good witch and a bad witch, but they both work for Oz. And Oz, well, Oz is really just some regular guy living behind a curtain, making all this shit up. Everyone listens to him, though. Yep, they believe everything he says. First of all, who the hell is this Oz fella? And second, how come no one ever listens to me? I have curtains. Well, I guess they're blinds when you really break it down, but that's essentially the same thing. And another thing, the devil, aka Satan, well, he represents overindulgence, temptation, putting material possessions over God or Oz or whatever. And Santa, aka Saint Nick, well, he breaks into our house and delivers material items and puts them under our tree. He even takes time to wrap them for us. What a good guy. But he's still breaking and entering, which is a 5th degree felony, by the way. And on such a grand scale, that's pretty damn serious. Definitely something that could throw you in jail. And we all know what happens if you go to jail, right? Well, that's just one step closer to hell, really. I guess my thing is, they're probably brothers. Kind of like the good witch and the bad witch, who are sisters, of course. And if you haven't seen The Wizard of Oz yet, just get yourself together. So they both probably work for some guy. Same guy, if I had to guess. But are they both evil? Because think about it. We sit on Santa's lap and tell him everything we want. So now he has all this pertinent information, all kinds of intel on us. And if he ever talks to his brother, like on Thanksgiving or whatever, well, now he can use that against us, to tempt us, to break us, to torture us. I don't know. Some people don't believe in Santa Claus, and some people don't believe in Satan. but I do. I think they might even actually be the same guy. Yeah, maybe Santa Claus is really just the devil dressed in drag. I mean, even the coming down the chimney thing, isn't that kind of peculiar when we all have doors? Why is he choosing to slide his fat ass down a chimney? Especially when we all know what chimneys hold, right? Yeah, fire. How could he possibly tolerate that? Last time I checked, satin suits are not flame retardant, are they? No, they're not retardant at all. They're facilitating. Watch this. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. So how is this guy pulling this off if he's not actually partially made of fire? Also, the name Lucifer, one of the many names Satan goes by. Well, what's all that white stuff on Santa's outfit? Loose fur. That's right. Loose fur. Lucifer. I don't know, guys. I'm pretty sure I cracked the case on this one. Just don't really know what to do about it. I mean, should I call the FBI? Facebook Incorporated? I don't know. Pretty sure Kash Patel won't be any help. Maybe the CIA, the Christmas Intelligence Agency. I would. But we all know what happens to people who speak out and make too much sense, right? Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Well, I guess I'll just shut my stupid mouth and let Chris Criminal keep doing his thing. Feliz Navidad, y'all.